Ty Lue stepping away from his coaching duties with the Cavs for the time being. Saturday night, Lue remained in the locker room at halftime, couldn't finish the game. The third time this season that's happened. The NBA playoffs start April 14th, less than 4 weeks from now, and a lot of uncertainty about who's going to be coaching that team. Lue shed some light on his health concerns via a statement. I have had chest pains and other troubling symptoms compounded by a loss of sleep throughout the year. Despite a battery of tests, there have been no conclusions as to what the exact issue is. While I have tried to work through it, the last thing I want is for it to affect the team. I am going to use this time to focus on a prescribed routine and medication, which has previously been difficult to start in the midst of a season. My goal is to come out of it a stronger and healthier version of myself so I can continue to lead this team to the championship we're all working towards. Here's LeBron reacting to the news.
Well, I knew he was struggling, but he was never not himself. You know, he was just dealing with it the best way he could, but he was never not himself, you know, when he was around. Obviously, you know, once he leave the gym and things of that nature, when he goes home and things we don't know, but, you know, he was, you know, the same every single day, even though he was going through what he was going through.
What impact is this going to have moving forward?
We're going to find out, but obviously it's a tough, it's like losing one of your best players, obviously, you know, a guy that's the, you know, pretty much, you know, the captain of our ship and, you know, has run the thing for the last 3 years, but you know everyone has to step up, and we have you know, coaches in place that's ready for that challenge, and we have to do our job as players as well. But you know, like I said, his health is most important, and you know, look forward to when he comes back.
I apologize, I missed your first answer. Have you had any interaction with him since this decision was made?
No, I just found out about it before shoot-around, so I'm new to it like that.
What was Larry's message? Did Larry have a huddle or do anything?
No.
Anything else, guys?
What is the biggest difference, do you think, with, you know, Ty is a voice that you guys have heard for so long, and you know some of his style and the things that he likes to do and all that kind of stuff. Like, what's the biggest difference with changing that at this point in the season and having a new voice?
Well, listen, our coaches are all on the same page, so you know the voice changed, but the message should still be the same, obviously. You know, so you know, I think our coaches are going to pick up, you know, right where T. Lue has left them. You know, in the best possible chance for us to succeed. You know, obviously, it's a different thing, but you know, we should be prepared, and we got to go on and do our job.
What do you sense or see when you look at the remaining schedule for this team opportunity? And you're always one to remain very even keel. You feel that with your guys' life?
We got 12 games. Today's game 70. So health, both as the players and the coaches, is the most important for our team. And we got everything else take care of itself. So we have just put in some work these last few weeks to the regular season and see what happens.
Our Cavs reporter Dave McMenamin, part of that media scrum a short time ago. He joins us now. Dave, seems like this has been an ongoing issue with Ty Lue going back a few months. Why did he decide now was the time to step away?
Well, David, one, you had the fact that the last game in Chicago, he couldn't get through coaching it. That was the third instance of these health issues becoming so pervasive that he couldn't even get through a 48-minute game. Two, if you look at the schedule now, we're about a month away from the NBA playoffs. This gives him a time right now because the Cavs are at home. They got back late Saturday night. They don't leave for the road again till this upcoming Saturday to go to New York to play a game against the Brooklyn Nets, where he can have, you know, a week sleeping in his own bed, going to his doctors and the medical personnel that he's already consulted with in Cleveland to try to establish some healthy habits to get him through the rest of the season. So it made sense. The schedule gave him an opportunity, and also, you know, he recognized that he can't keep pushing forward without doing something to correct the situation he's in, or it can lead to even more dire consequences down the line.
Not just chest pains, but unable to sleep as well. So associate head coach Larry Drew takes over. They're heading into the stretch drive, the playoffs approaching, a lot of new guys on this roster. How daunting of a task is this for the Cavs moving forward without their head coach?
It's almost like the most appropriate cherry on top of the most sour sundae that the Cavs could possibly have for this season. It's been a season full of turmoil. This is only another chapter to that book. But certainly, I don't think it's something that's so daunting that this group can't handle it. Certainly, LeBron James has been used to something new almost every day since he got back to Cleveland in the summer of 2014. And this is a challenge, and it's a person they're going to miss as much as a tactician they're going to miss in Tyronn Lue. But I don't believe this will be any more challenging than a major knee injury to Kyrie Irving that he suffered a couple of years ago, or Kevin Love's shoulder being pulled out of the socket, or the midseason trades that they had this year to completely change their team. This is just another challenge for this group, specifically LeBron James, to lead the group through.
All right, there may be some good news for the Cavs. We're going to get to that in a minute. Dave, stay right there. For right now, let's get it over to Nicole.
Yeah, Adrian Wojnarowski is here. He's got a little bit more context on why this is happening right now. So why is Lue stepping away at this very moment?
Nicole, they've discussed this internally, Ty Lue with the team, and then also his doctors, about different points in this season. Early in the year when he was going through this, the team was struggling, and Ty Lue, I'm told, did not want it to look like he was bailing on the team when they were on a long losing streak. Then came the trade at the February deadline that transformed their roster. He wanted to stay and integrate that new group into the team. But now, as Dave said, after Saturday night's episode, for the third time this year, he couldn't coach a complete game. They made the decision. We have time before the playoffs. We're not fighting for the 1 seed right now. And he has a window here to try to feel better, take some time away from the team, and allow Larry Drew, who's been the head coach of 2 different NBA teams, to take over in the short term.
So he's stepping away right now. Ty Lue stepping aside from the Cavs is the head coach right now, and it's being labeled as an indefinite leave of absence. So what's the timeline here that we're dealing with before we could see Ty Lue back?
Nicole, I'm told that Ty and the Cavs are hopeful that this will be sooner than later, as in days, maybe a week, before he's able to really take a look at coming back on the bench, that he expects to be back well before the start of the playoffs. This is a short-term decision to step away, and that he'll be back within days, whether that's 5 to 7, 7 to 10. That's the time frame that they're looking at.
Okay, so at least in the short term here, Ty Lue stepping away. It's the bad news for the Cavs. David, you've got some good news, right?
Yeah, Ty Lue stepping away, and maybe one of their better players stepping forward. Dave McMenamin joins us again. Kevin Love, he's been out with this broken hand. I think projections had him coming back maybe at the end of this week. Dave, what can you tell us now?
Well, the Cavs officially have him as a status of questionable for tonight's game against the Milwaukee Bucks, but Kevin Love went through full shoot-around this morning in Independence, Ohio, and he was wearing the red starter's penny as they went through their drills. That would perhaps suggest that he will indeed be coming back tonight. Of course, we'll have to see come game time. Larry Drew will give an official status on Kevin Love in 5 or 6 hours from now, but a good sign for the Cavs that perhaps they'll get back their other all-star, and LeBron James will get some help in that lineup.
Okay, so you talked about the turmoil and the turbulence. Ty Lue stepping away for right now, and perhaps Kevin Love returning tonight. Dave McMenamin filling us in on all things Cleveland Cavaliers at this hour.